love everything to do with beauty and glamour and makeup and having some fun. And as you can see, today's look is very bold. It is very bright and colorful. So if you are looking to create a fun makeup look, and trust me, it's not that hard to do, then keep on watching and we're gonna dive right into it. Okay everybody, let's get started on our fun festival look. And of course, I'm gonna be going in and doing my brows first. So I am going to just go and do my base. Done our base a couple of times now. So most of the videos I've done so far are like underpainting. That is what I'm going to be doing today because I find it's just like, it makes my makeup last. We've talked about why we do underpainting and how much fun it is and just the benefits of doing underpainting. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do my base. I'm going to do it all right up into the eyes because the eyes is going to be the more detailed. We're going to go pretty bold, pretty dramatic, pretty colorful. Everybody knows festivals are fun and they're usually pretty colorful. So this is not a look that you probably would want to wear every day. I mean, it's fun. So if your personality is fun and you like to wear dramatic makeup all the time, then this is totally for you. But if you are just going to a festival and you want to know how to do a fun makeup look, then follow along with this one. And you can find colorful palettes all over the place, whether that's drugstore, or Sephora, or wherever you find your makeup items from. You can usually find some pretty colorful palettes. So with that, I'm really excited to get into this video. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this festival look. And so let's get to doing our base. Okay, so now that our base is mostly done, I'm gonna finish putting a little bit of bronzer and blush on at the very end, just to kind of tie the whole thing together. But I'm also gonna be doing like some fun colors on my cheeks as well. So we'll do that in a little bit. However, we're gonna start on our eyes now. So with our eyes, we wanna make sure when you're doing something that's like really bright and colorful and you really want those colors to show up, you should use a eyeshadow primer. So this is the one that I'm going to be using from Urban Decay, and I find that it does just like a really fantastic job at bringing out those pigments and making sure that they stay in place all day. So I'm just going to take a little bit and just put it onto each eyelid, and because this is going to be a super dramatic look, I want to make sure that I'm really getting it everywhere. And you don't need a whole lot. And then I always just tap it in with my fingers. So it dries down pretty quickly, so you're gonna wanna work it in the best you can, and tapping is the best method to do that because you don't wanna disturb anything that you've already laid down. You could do your eyes first. That would be, you know, another method of doing it, especially if you're working with like really vibrant colors and if you're afraid of any fallout under your eyes. Like I said before in another video, I don't really like to do my eyes first. I find it makes more of a mess. I can do it on other people with no problem, but for myself, I just have a really hard time doing it. So I'm just going to take a little bit of my setting powder, and I'm just going to use like my sponge just because I have it in hand. You can use the little velvet puff too if you want. And I'm just going to just set my primer with a little bit of setting powder. And then just bringing it up under my brow too, because I did apply a little bit of concealer to carve out my brows. Playing with blues and purples and pinks and creating just like a really vibrant, cool look on my eyes. So to get us started, I'm going to start applying my crease and any colors going above my crease. In order to get like a really impactful look, I think I'm going to do a cut crease today. So in order to do cut creases, we want to make sure that we are getting most of what we want to see above our eyelids laid down. So we're going to be working with like purples and pinks for that. So I want to start with a purple in my crease and then kind of moving it up into a pink, and then we're going to do some blues on the actual eyelid. So just to kind of give it that gradient of like blue to purple. To do that, I'm going to be using the Profusion Wonderlust palette. Now I've had this palette for a while. It has some dings. It's banged up pretty good because I haven't been able to find this palette again. I'm pretty sure I could order it online. But we're going to be working with these colors here first, these deep purple. So first, I'm going to be going into this purple right here and just taking a rounded dome brush. And I'm using the dome brush by Lashily Cosmetics. I'm going to top off any sort of that might be on my brush. And we're going to just start working that into our crease with like windshield wiper motions. Like it's bright. Oh yeah. And then if you have to, you can just make like small little circles and then sweeping. I'm trying not to make too many classic like makeup faces. And then we're just gonna go in and do the other eye. So now I know that some people like to do one eye at a time. I like to go back and forth because it keeps me on track, and it also like I can make sure that I am making both eyes as similar as possible. Now the thing with makeup, and especially with bold looks, it's like one of those things where you have to wait until the end to pull it all together. It's gonna look really scary and you're probably gonna have thoughts like, what is this? This looks terrible. But once you get to blending and pulling it all together, at the end, it looks phenomenal. Okay, so now going into this deeper purple right here at the bottom, I am gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna start packing this into my crease because the crease is like your contour. You want it to be bold depending on your look. And for this, I really want it to be like super cool. I'm not going too far down here because I want to be able to still use some blue and things like that to tie things together. So I am leaving like a little space just above the very outer corner of my eye. And I'm gonna go in and do the same thing here. Windshield wiping back and forth. And then small soft circles. And then kind of lightly bringing it out to the side. So I'm gonna set this brush aside for now, and I am just going to pick up one of my other favorite eyeshadow brushes from Lashily. And this one is a little bit flatter and a little bit thinner on the side, but it's still really fluffy. And I'm gonna use this to blend. And I'm just kind of like trying to feather out the top of this purple because I'm gonna start laying down the pink next. Okay, so once that looks pretty good and I'm happy with it, I'm gonna start bringing in the pinks. So because we are going from like bold purple to a little bit faded out, I do want to try and connect those two with this deeper pink right here. So you kind of have to think about a gradient, or you know, how colors will fade together, and thinking about your color theory. So of course, like blue goes to purple, and then you have like it kind of go into red and then pink. So we're not going to be packing on any reds. Like that's why I'm going to be using these deep pinks to create that nice blend. And I'm kind of trying to keep like the same undertones and pigments, so just making it cohesive. So going in with that darker pink, I'm just gonna start working it in. I am going to pick up my dome brush that I was using before, and I'm just gonna give it like a swipe off so that there isn't like a whole bunch of leftover purple pigment on there. It's okay if there's like a little bit because it's gonna kind of help blend, but you don't want it to be like packed full of that purple eyeshadow. Okay, so starting right where the deepest part of the purple starts, I'm going to start working this pink in just above that. Picking up a little bit more, and then I'm gonna just start winging it out. And you can already start to see that gradient take shape. And we're gonna go do that on the other side. And then just seeing if I need any more pigment, and then packing on a little bit more if needed, and blending to create a nice bold shape around my eye. And now taking that same dome brush, I'm just giving it a little bit of wipe off. I'm going to just blend down into that purple. And I'm using a really light hand because I don't want to disturb the pigments, and I don't want it to be blended out because then it's going to start to lose its impact. Ah, now we're getting somewhere. So I'm gonna go into my NYX Ultimate palette here. This one has a lot of super fun colors in it. I'm just gonna open this up and we are gonna kind of take like this hot pink shade right here and we're gonna start to just blend that just in where that top of that other pink that we've laid down on our eyes is. So for this one, I want to be able to really control how much I'm laying down. So I'm going to use a much fluffier eyeshadow brush in order to help me do that. So I'm going to go in with one of my Morphe brushes here. And I'm going to just pick up a little bit of that hot pink shade and just lightly dust it. And the motions that I'm using to do this, they are very light. I am not pressing very hard at all. I just want the top of the brush to just grace the top of my skin. I don't want to disturb anything I've already done. I want to add to it and enhance it, but I don't want to remove it in any way. Now this is looking pretty good and this is a bit of like more matte eyeshadow, so I want to start adding some shine and some sparkle to make it a little bit more magical. I'm gonna add in this really pretty pink shade here and I'm just gonna kind of like blend that into those pink shades. That same Morphe brush that I was just using for that other hot pink shade as well. Oh yeah, oh yeah, ooh, I like that. And then doing it on the other side. And now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna be using like this purple shade here and I'm just gonna start adding that on top of where the purple is. So I really like the way this looks. I really like how it's blending. It looks so good. So now we're gonna start laying down the foundation for our cut crease. Crease is by using concealer, and I'm gonna be using the Maybelline Superstay. I like it because it has a flat wand on it, and it makes it easier for applying onto your eyelid. I'm just swiping it across my eyelid right here, and then what I like to do is just look down, and what this does is it stamps where I should be extending the concealer on my eyelid to create a bigger eyelid look. So it's like a way of like making your eyes looking bigger than they are. And I'm gonna do that on the other side as well. And I'm going to about the middle of my eye, like right kind of in by my iris. So I'm taking it just to like, just a little over the middle of my eye. And then I'd like to take the tip and just kind of like run it along to kind of connect. And because I want more of a lid space look, I'm going just above that natural line that I created. Okay, so that looks pretty good. You can also do this part by using a small pointed tip brush. This is kind of like the concealer that is like on the end of its life, so I tend to use it for that. But sometimes I use it for other things, so I do always make sure that I'm wiping off the wand after doing any makeup application. And of course, like, that's on myself, personal products, not what I use for clients. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just set the concealer with a white eyeshadow powder so that it will create this really bright base for these colors to show up on. Like, it's gonna really enhance the color. So I'm gonna go in with my Revolution palette, and the color that I'm going to be using is this white one right here, and this one is called Serenity. I'm gonna take my flat eyeshadow brush from Lashily Cosmetics, and I'm gonna start just tapping that white eyeshadow over top. I'm so excited to finish this look. It's gonna look so good. So now what we're gonna be doing is building up our blues. This is gonna be a lot of fun. I'm gonna be going in and with my Profusion palette, I'm gonna be going into this color, and this one is called Enigma. Take that flat eyeshadow brush that I just used, and I'm going to sweep into it just as so. Like, it's pretty pigmented, like it's pigmented. Removing any excess, and I'm going to start laying this down right on the end here. Like I said, this is gonna feel crazy. It's gonna feel like a lot of makeup, but that's because it is. Festival looks can be as simple or as dramatic as you want them to be. Usually for festivals, like, you're dancing, you're sweating, you're doing a lot of movement, and that's why you really take your time to apply things, have your setting powders and your setting sprays. You know, there's a lot of, like, when I'm doing my eyes, I'm using a primer and then I'm setting it, and then I'm using my concealer and I'm setting it, and it seems like a lot of steps and a lot of layers. And it might be very intimidating because you're like, wow, this is just all gonna sweat off. But if you take the time to do your applications properly, using the right tools and the right products for the job, your makeup will last all night. Like, dancing or not, it will last all night. And as an update, I'm gonna give you guys just my thoughts on the new setting spray by L'Oreal. It's the L'Oreal Infallible. It's supposed to last for like 36 hours. I've been testing it out, I've been trying it, and I'm really excited to share with you just my thoughts on it. So hang on to the end of the video because I'm going to be sharing a little bit about that. Okay, continuing on, we're going to just keep laying down our blue here. And I'm just kind of taking the tip and just running it along that crease line. Like, this is gonna be some wild makeup. Holy. So just keep in mind that I'm using drugstore eyeshadow palettes, and this pigment is fire. Like, these are very well put together palettes. They're also pretty good quality for drugstore. I would say, like, I've tried a few bright palettes from pro brands or high-end brands, and I just keep coming back to drugstore palettes. I have a few of the pro palettes, like my drugstore palettes. You can, like, really see, like, I just wiped off this brush like crazy, and there's still a ton of pigment on it. But that's okay, that doesn't bother me, because I'm gonna be going back into my Profusion palette, and I'm gonna be picking up this, like, really sparkly blue right here. Oh my goodness, this is, whoa, the glitter on this. And I'm just gonna start kind of putting that beside it because I want to be sparkly. And I'm just gonna tap and soft movements, dragging it right into this inner corner, stopping, I don't know, right about here. I don't know if you can see that. I'm stopping right about here. Oh, she's right. I'm gonna do it on the other side. Oh my god, this looks so cool. I'm so excited. And then right beside it, there's like this lighter blue kind of sparkly color here. This one's called Stormy, and I'm going to pick it up on the same brush, and I'm just going to apply that to the corner, the very, very corner of my eye. And then one final last touch before we move on to something else. I'm gonna take this color, this like really bright white sparkle glitter one. And this one is called Frosting. And I'm just gonna go over top of that very inner corner. So I haven't shown you guys this palette yet. This is the Urban Decay and Gwen Stefani palette. I don't use it very often. I probably should use it more, but I don't. And I was looking through all of my color palettes this morning and I saw this one and I was like, oh yeah, this one's got a really cool deep blue glitter type of eyeshadow in it. And sorry, my brain is dying a little bit today. I went to spin class and the instructor just totally annihilated me, kicked my butt, and my brain's a little fuzzy. But yeah, so we're gonna be using this really deep blue glitter shadow, and this one is called Dangler. So yeah, the Urban Decay plus Gwen Stefani palette. I'm going to take a clean, fluffy eyeshadow brush. This one has a flat top, but it's very fluffy. And I'm just going to pick up that color, just a little, tapping off, because I do know that this palette has a lot of fallout in it. So even higher end palettes can have fallout. The better quality palette tends to have less fallout in it. However, any types of eyeshadows that have glitter or any sort of sparkle to it tend to have more fallout than most, unless you're using like a cream or something like that, which I haven't really used cream eyeshadows, so I gotta play with those a little bit more. But yeah, so I've just picked up some of that color and I'm just gonna like lay it down over the dark blue on the end that I've already done, and I'm going to just kind of blend all of these blues together. It looks so good. And I'm gonna do the same to the other side. And because I know already that this palette has more fallout and that I am using a glitter eyeshadow on top of it, I'm making sure that I'm more packing the color than sweeping, because when I sweep, especially with a fluffy brush, it's going to move those bristles. And when those bristles are moving, it's creating fallout, like it's dusting off the shadow that's in the bristles. We don't want that because we don't want to create any messes under our eyes, and so far we're doing a really good job at making sure that there are no messes. But I am just making sure that I am packing it, and then if I am doing any sweeping, I'm making sure to do small little movements so that I'm not disturbing the bristles too much. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse them. I'm going to do purple on the inner corners, like pinks and purples, and then kind of graduating to the blues on the outside. So to do that, I'm going to start laying the inner corners down first. I'm going to go in and using the color Go Girl, this is that pink that we had used before, and I'm just dipping a pointed detailed eyeshadow brush into, and I'm going to kind of place that right here on both sides. And I'm using a very light hand. And then going into this purple shade here, this one's called Regal. I'm gonna go slightly over top of the pink and just sweeping back towards the outside of my eye. And then going into this deep purple, it's called Retro, the one that I had used before. And I'm just kind of packing that just on the outside here. And then of course going into the deep blue color Enigma and just connecting to the outer corner of my eye. I really like how that looks. I have this eyeliner pencil. It's by Styly Style. Totally forgot I had this in blue. But yeah, it's a very deep blue, and I'm going to be doing a tight line on my lower lash line with this blue. I think it's like really going to tie it together. I'm going to try it on one eye and see how I like it. If I don't like it, I'll just wipe it off and use white like I originally was going to. But then I saw this in my bag and I was like, oh gee, I forgot about that. So I'm going to try just tight lining with the blue. Oh yeah, that looks super cool. Oh yeah. Really like it. Taking my L'Oreal Paradise Kohl liner in black, I am going to tight line my upper waterline because I am going to be applying some very nice big false lashes. I just opened up my bag and I saw this in there, and I used this in another video. So this is a tattoo color pen by Maybelline. These are super great because they really do last for a really long time. And I realized that I had just put blue along my lower line here for the tight lining. Sorry, my brain is dying. I'm gonna add a little bit of this just to, like, I don't know, let's have some fun with it. It's makeup. Who cares? Let's have fun. Okay, so putting it in the middle of my waterline here. Oh, that's super cool effect. Oh my goodness, these are like the coolest eyes ever. I wonder what reactions I would get if I ever wore this to the salon. I'd have to make it a really busy day too, I think. I'm gonna have to do that. So taking my NYX Epic ink liner in black, I'm gonna create a like really bold wing. I think that would look really good. Like, I mean, you could just do mascara and lashes at this point. That would also look super awesome, but I don't know. I love winged eyeliner, so I don't know, we're having fun. Okay, so eyeliner, I'm going to just start laying it down very thin line, and how I do that is I get the brush style tip liners, not the felt, not a like a dip liner type situation. I like this one because it really does last all day. I can, you know, go to the gym after work or spin after work or whatever. It still looks great when I come out. So I do really like this one, and I find that the brush tip liners allow you just really to get close to that lash line, but it's also a super smooth application. And I kind of just use the side of the brush to get that nice tight line right to the corner where like the blue kind of angles upwards. And I'm going to use that as the guide for where I want my line to be, like where I want the liner to just like outline this blue. So I'm going to take it from here and just go straight back. And like, don't be afraid. This is bold festival eyes. Like, be crazy, do some fun things, make it really creative and imaginative. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace just from the corner in towards my eye. And stopping right where my, and then I'm stopping right where it meets my eyelid. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm thinking I might decide what I'm gonna change what I'm gonna do. And this is how makeup goes sometimes. Like, sometimes when you get into a makeup look and you start it, you know, like sometimes the creativity starts flowing and then you start getting ideas. And for me, the more that I look at this, I kind of am digging this outline. I'm gonna kind of fill it in and see how I feel about it. And if I don't really jive with it, like right now my brain is just going with an idea, then I'll just fill it in like a normal winged eyeliner that I normally do. So I think how I'm going to do this is just connect it here. feather my point and then bring it in like that. Ooh, I really like that. Okay, yeah, we're gonna go with that. So I kind of did like kind of a blend of the two, so it's not filled in all the way. I totally could and it would still look bomb. But I think I'm gonna leave it. I kind of like that. That's pretty cool. You're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Sorry, I know it's really hard to show it on this side. I'm just gonna finish this eyeliner. Going to the corner of my eye, going upwards, creating that bold wing, and then in towards the corner of my outer eye. And really getting that point nice and sharp. And then you do the same thing. I'm just going to kind of just lightly matching it to the other side the best I can. So excited over this. To finish off, we are going to use our eyelash curler. This is mine by Lashily. It's like one of my favorites ever. And I'm just gonna give my eyelashes a little bit of curl. I never used to curl my eyelashes, but I've really gotten into it. It really helps blend when you're using false lashes. But then it also really helps with when you're using just like a natural makeup look. Just curling your lashes, adding a little bit of mascara, and like, looks like my L'Oreal Panorama Mascara. Panorama Mascara. Say that 10 times fast. Panorama Mascara. Panorama. Failed after 2. This one is waterproof. I've just been using waterproof mascara just in general now for a little while, just because I find that being outside and working out and whatever, it just helps not get mascara running into my eyes or down my face. So I'm going to just do like 1 or 2 coats because I'm going to be using some pretty fluffy lashes. And I always save doing the lower lashes for last, just in case my eyes water. It's just kind of like a backup plan, you know, just in case. So cleanup will be a little bit easier if something happens. My lashes from my favorite lash company local to the Okanagan, and that is by Lashily Cosmetics. And the one that I'm going to be using today is called Alley. So I'm going to be using my Lashily Glue Liner in clear. They do make one in black, which is really great for when you're using eyeliner, but mine ran out and this is what I have. So this is what we're going to be using. So what I like to do is, instead of sweeping, I just like to dab the glue along my lash line. And then doing the other side. So what I really love about this glue is that it starts to get sticky really fast. So I found that like a lot of other brands I was using, it took almost like far too long for the glue to start getting tacky. And it was just like really annoying because like you'd put it on and then it would sit there and sit there and sit there. And then sometimes it would like run into your eye and then it just makes a whole mess. So that's what I really like about this glue liner, is that for one, it's a liner, and 2, it starts to get tacky faster, so you're not like waiting around forever, and it doesn't leak anywhere, it doesn't bleed, it doesn't get all over the place, and I really like that it doesn't build up on the lash like some lash glues do. Like it will build right up, like because there's so much coming out from the brush onto the line of the lashes. So it's really nice to have one that doesn't like take forever to set and that you have more control of where the glue is going. And in case you're wondering, what I'm doing right now is I'm actually just applying glue to my lashes right now. So I always like to put glue along my lash line and of course on the line of the lashes because it creates a Velcro effect and it's gonna make your lashes stay all day. And another point to why I like these so much is because when it comes to taking my makeup off at the end of the day, I found that other brands, it was like super annoying trying to get the glue off of my eyes. I would be there forever with eye makeup remover trying to get it off. This doesn't happen when I use this glue. It actually comes off really easy. It comes off of the lash band really easy. There's the word I was looking for, lash band. So I'm just going to tilt my head back, look down, and just drop it right where I put that glue. Like you can see, like it's immediate. It's there, it's in place. One of the things that I hear most from people about false lashes, like why they don't wear them, is because they are afraid that they are too difficult to apply. In the past, they definitely were. It was a very messy process, trying to, get the glue on and then getting them in the right place. But, like having where we are now in 2024, we have a lot of tools and a lot of products that actually make this process so much easier. Like you do not have to be a makeup artist to apply lashes or to wear them, every once in a while. I definitely never used to wear false lashes. I had terrible experiences with them earlier on. And then the more I got into doing makeup, I was like, I really want to start wearing like lashes. And like before, the quality wasn't even that great of them. Like they were like really big with like thick black bands that didn't have flexibility and just weren't comfortable to wear. Whereas like nowadays, lashes have come a long way, the glue has come a long way, and the quality has come a long way. So it's really important to find lashes that work for you, that feel comfortable, and products, stuff like that. So, and that's kind of how I stumbled upon this brand in the Okanagan. It's so cool that they're local. So I'm just applying that and then just setting it into place. They'll look so good. Super fun. And then a lot of the times what I'll do is I'll go back in with my black eyeliner pen and I will just kind of like go over top of the lash band to just kind of like blend them in to that line. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to apply a little bit of mascara to my lower lashes. We're going to apply some cool colors on our cheeks, and then we're done with this fun festival look. So before I go applying any fun colors, I'm going to go in with my Too Faced Peach palette, and I'm just going to apply a little bit of peach blush on top of my cheeks. A blush brush, I am just kind of like tapping the color on there. A little bit on my nose too. Definitely is like it's a little psychedelic, it's a little crazy in the eyes, very bold. It could also be considered like very 80s too. Like I love 80s makeup looks. I think they're so fantastic with how bright and colorful they are, and I kind of wish that was the norm still, but we're kind of in this whole era where everything's very neutral. I like to have fun with colors. I like to have fun playing around. So I'm a little sad that that isn't like the norm these days, but who knows? Maybe it'll make a comeback. Maybe I will start a trend. Who knows? Okay, so this part's gonna be a little bit tricky. How I am going to do this is I'm going to be using a flat stippling brush. So this is an extra one that I have. There's actually two that come in the Lashily brush kit. There's one that has a bit of an angle and there's one that's flat. So I tend to use the flat one more for like cheeks and stuff like that. I mean, you can use the angle one. The angle one probably would be better, but I just kind of like grab what's there and then that's what I'm using. So, but you could use the angle one if you wanted to. I'm going to use the angle one just because it's clean. I like to use stippling brushes for when I'm doing something fun on the cheeks or, you know, blending and stuff like that, because stippling creates a very soft blend. So I'm going to take this stippling brush and going into my next palette, I'm going to take the more pastel colors, starting with the pink up here in the corner. And I'm just going to put a little on, like you can kind of see on the edge of my brush here where that color is. And I'm going to start tapping it into my skin. Probably just going to look like more blush, if anything, with the pink. I'm just laying that on the outer corners of my cheeks. And then going in with a more pastel-y purple here, kind of doing the same thing. I'm just gonna start tapping. I'm gonna go in with the fluffy eyeshadow brush by Morphe that I was using earlier. And I'm gonna start applying some light blues, just kind of in random spots. And then I'm gonna kind of, where do I wanna put it? I think I wanna put it more up here. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. And just kind of like blending it in. And then doing that on the other side. That is a look for sure. And like, you don't have to do this part. Like, you could have just added blush and highlighter and called it a day. But we're going to a festival, so we're gonna have some fun with it. Taking that same blush brush, I'm gonna be brave. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna go into our purple color here. This is Regal. And these are pigmented colors, so I'm a little scared. And I'm just kind of blending, like, I kind of look like a Lisa Frank poster just threw up on my face. If you are not from the 90s, you probably do not know what Lisa Frank is. I don't know if it was just a Canadian thing or not. I don't think so, but Lisa Frank was this like bright stationery that you used to get as a kid, and it always featured like dolphins, horses, zebras, unicorns, narwhals, Pegasus, tigers, cats, kittens, puppies, lions, you name it. But it was colorful and it was cartoony, and they always had the cutest stationery. It was always so bright. And they had like notebooks, pencils, pencil bags, and then eventually it turned into like posters and backpacks and t-shirts. Like, it just kept going. Stickers, everything. It was super cool. You can definitely still buy Lisa Frank. She still makes it, but it's just not in the stores anymore. And that makes like really sad because it is super fun. I'm gonna go in with more purple. Blendy, blendy, blendy. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start playing with some sparkly shades. So I'm going to go into this one, Stormy. I'm just going to go in and pack some on there. And then of course, using our bright pink one here, this is that Gravity. And I'm going to start just like putting it in a whole bunch of different places, because why not? Going in with Love Story. This is like pretty pink shade here. That's looking super fun and unique. It's so different. To tie it all in, I'm going to be using my favorite highlighter by Revolution in Dare to Divulge. And I am going to apply it here. And on the top of my Cupid's bow, of course, we need to make it so shiny. We're gonna go here to really like illuminate all these super fun colors on our cheeks. Oh, we're going for it, honey. We are shiny, and I dig it. I really dig it, and it looks really cool. Before we go, I'm going to be applying just a little bit of bronzer. I'm going to be using this nice big fluffy powder brush. This is also by Lashily. And I'm going to just apply it just up here, just to give me like a little bit more contour and definition. And I totally did forget to do this earlier, but that's okay, I'm doing it now. I remembered. And then just a little, I mean, you're not really gonna notice it on your cheeks because you're already blinding people. Just set it all so you can go out and dance your heart out. We're gonna set it with the L'Oreal Infallible 36-hour setting spray. Added a little bit of mixed fat lip oil. This is a really great gloss. It's got oils in it for nutrients and moisture in your lips. But this is it, guys. This is the final look, and I'm digging it. I'd probably wear this out, to be honest, like on a regular day if I was looking to maybe shock some people or just, you know, whichever, have some fun. But yeah, I dig it. It's super fun, it's super colorful, and it just makes me really happy. I hope you give it a try if you're out attending some festivals this summer and fall. And yeah, just enjoy having fun and playing with some makeup and dancing your heart out wherever you're gonna be. Thanks so much for joining me again in another video, and look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Bye.